Okay, gang, here's how we can customize and use the download builder for jQuery UI. I'm on jQueryui.com, and if I click on Custom Download, I go to this download builder. And basically what we're going to do is look for anything that's stable with the most recent version of jQuery. So by default, this is selected, and we'll go ahead and do that. So as far as components, you can unclick this and get specifically what you want. So let's say I only wanted the accordion. Well, guess what? All I would need to do is click that, and it would tell me that, okay, you need the widget, you need key code backup, you would need a unique ID, and accordion. So the selector here would have to be a unique ID for the div that surrounds the header panel pairs, which if you heard my last video on jQuery UI and the accordion, then that's what we're talking about. If not, just go back and check that out. So I've made this bare minimum. So what'll happen is, let's say I wanted to have a theme. Well, these are all themes that you would need to see before you chose them. Generally, I do no theme, but they have quite a bit of them. And if you don't like those themes, we can go to the theme roller, which we'll get to in a separate video. Anyway, as far as the CSS scope, we can limit our theme to a particular portion of the page. Let's say we had a class called accordion middle. We could simply put accordion middle is the CSS scope, and it would constrict that. So basically in most situations though, you don't need to do that, because if you've named your classes right, it would be specific to that in general. So more than likely you'll have no theme on this stuff, but we'll get into the theme roller in a second. So if I click download on this, you're going to see a very small custom zip. So here I'm going to go ahead and do this. And when we open this up, you will see I get the minified and the beautified. I also get a jQuery UI structure. And how would I use this? Well, I would take my JS and my CSS, and I would put those in the CSS and JS folders respectively. This is our components and what it tells us. As far as this, you see there's no theme at all. So there's second and third, so there's our accordion, and you see the first is the active state. So if I were to look at the source code here, you could see how it's used. It calls the CSS. This is just no theme CSS, and this is our accordion. So where is the actual function for the jQuery? Well, look at this. It's right down at the bottom, and it says accordion. So that is the div that we're working with, and below this we see a couple of things about hover states on static widgets in this. So this is called on dialog link or icons li, and that would be right inside here. So you can see the hover state there, and it's got the blue. That's the hover, and that's the hover. So that's without any theme at all. So in our next video, what we're going to do is show, well, actually, I want to do something. I'm going to toggle all classes because I want you to see how much larger the file would be. We'll click download with the custom zip as it is now. So now it's 388 kilobytes, where the first one was just 141. So we've tripled the size of this, but then you get everything. Now, I realize we're in a modern era where there's very fast internet connections, but I want you to think mobile. When we get into the habit of doing this, and we're going to do jQuery mobile next week, we want to keep our downloads to a bare minimum because we don't want to hinder the data connection for our users. We don't want to add to their cost. So in an age where we design for mobile first, you have to think about reducing all as much as you can. So I have no problem with you downloading this entire every component if we're in development mode, but when we go live, we should do everything possible to reduce the speed of the download. I hope that makes sense, because we have to sort of create a mindset in you in the web development program to think mobile first, and that's why jQuery is actually pretty helpful. All right, any questions, don't hesitate to email me.